Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are back with another speed build, specifically back with another spooky season speed build. Again, not necessarily super scary because I don't like scary, but I decided to go ahead and make the Spellman household, and not the Chilling Adventure Spellman household, but the OG 90s Serena the Teenage Witch Spellman household, because that's the one we prefer. I think I only ended up, I don't even think I watched a full episode of the Chilling Adventures Sabrina situation. It just wasn't for me because I don't like scary stuff, and it was a little creepy. But anyways, I cut out a lot with the exterior because I like just building the shell of the house, because that was just super hard for me, because there is like one specific house that you see that is supposed to represent the Spellman household, but it was just like, it was really weird how it was shaped, and then also like having it be functional on the inside too was like a struggle. So I had to like keep on like going and making adjustments and everything for that. And I also just struggled a lot. So at some point I am gonna like basically skip through, like about here I kind of just skip through and cut out like all of the bits that I kind of struggled with as far as figuring out the layout of the house. So you guys didn't have to suffer through watching that, because it took me hours. This was another build that took me a really long time, just like the Charmed House. The Charmed House took me over 9 hours. This one took me about like almost exactly 8 hours to do. I will say, when I'm doing big builds like this, I do tend to watch something in the background, so that definitely can probably be a factor in why it takes me so long to do these builds. But at the same time, they are like bigger builds and they're bigger houses, and they're just, I try to be a lot more detailed with them, and like I'm constantly like trying to make sure I'm doing it accurately. As far as accuracy for this one, I think I did a decent job, but it's still not perfect, just because basically to get it as accurate as I could, there wasn't as many like pictures for me to go based off of. So I literally sometimes would just have to go through and watch episodes and episodes of it, or like flick through episodes of it. So that was also very time consuming. This room over here on the other side of the house, I don't remember them ever going into this side of the room. They may have at one point, but I don't remember them. But you can always, like, since it's has like open like I can't think of what those are called, archways and stuff, you can see through it, and it kind of looks like there's like a bookcase and chair in there. So I kind of decided to just make it into like a study area. So that's what I go for over here. And I just try to put some plants and stuff in here, and then I add in like a little desk so they can have a computer and everything in this house, because I feel like they'd probably maybe have a computer, because Aunt Zelda is smarty person, and Sabrina's in school, so sure, they have that. And then here I make their little laundry room situation. I think there's only like 1 or 2 scenes of the laundry room. From what I recall, it was like a yellow creamy color, so that's what I went with that. And then I tried to find like a little seating area just to kind of fill up the space, because from the show, that area isn't as big on the show, but if you pay attention to the house and the way the house is built, there is kind of that room there. It's just, it's the same thing with the Charmed House of like, it can't be completely accurate just because they're on a set, even though that it shows like an actual house. So it's hard to like make it as accurate as possible. And then over here, I start trying to just like figure out like the kind of the colors and like some of little details of the kitchen area. Their chairs in the kitchen are red, but I just couldn't find chairs that were red but like had the same like shape, because they were kind of just like basic wooden chairs, but I couldn't find ones. So those are more of a like mahogany wood red rather than like straight like painted on red chairs, but we just went with it. And then also I really struggled with the kitchen area just because, for one, this build, I will say already, it's probably not fully functional, just because I had to like put things in places that they don't really go naturally because of the way the house is in the show. So I don't know if you can even use those counters. The fridge, I'm pretty sure you cannot use because it is in that archway. I think if you wanted to use the fridge, you'd have to like delete those walls or whatever, because I don't think you're going to be able to use the fridge with it being in there. You may not. I didn't test it at all. And then I know that counters, I wasn't happy with that because like the counters in the show, they're actually like a darker blue on top, but there really wasn't any counters that had like a white bottom bit and then blue countertop. So I just had to go with that. And I really struggled with just finding a lot of clutter pieces for the house all over, but I tried my best. So that's what I'm doing here, is just trying to find some clutter and then, you know, going back and doing all the little details there. And then the dining room. This room was pretty simple, pretty easy. There's not much in it, at least from what you see on the show. This is the kind of the room where she finds out that she is a witch. That's when Zelda and Hilda break the news to her. Not that she believes them in the beginning, but she eventually does, because she eventually does her powers in the middle of school and realizes that she is one. And this room, I struggled with the chairs for this room because it just wasn't exactly how the show was, but you know, that's what you have to just work with, what you got sometimes when it comes to doing that. And then I just try to fill it up with some bits and pieces and stuff so it doesn't look like completely empty. And I did, and then eventually I go upstairs, and just try to start that layout. From what I remember on the show, I'm pretty sure Sabrina's room is actually opposite of the closet, but just for the little cutout bit of the house where like the little sitting nook, I don't know what you call that, the little jutting out bit of the windows. I don't know what that's called. I can't think of what that's called right now. That I'm pretty sure is in her room, and it has like stained glass windows and stuff. So I decided to just put her in this room instead of having it right across the closet, even though I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to be. But you know, we have to make adjustments for that because again, it's a set and it's not going to be perfect. So I just try and like put a bunch of stuff from what I've seen, because they do a lot of scenes in her room, obviously, because she's the main character and she's a teenager, so she spends a lot of time in her room. And I was thinking about trying to find like stained glass windows, but they just don't have that many stained glass windows in The Sims anyway, so I didn't even bother to change them because it just wasn't worth trying. And so that is actually another thing that I kind of like cut out. I cut out a lot because I didn't want this to be another 30-minute video like the Charmed video was, so a lot I cut out of things that just took me forever. And I think Sabrina's probably is the most detailed room that like I was able to follow like a lot of what the show kind of does for that room, because there's like a lot. I just felt like with the house, like the overall house I had to make so big that like some of the rooms it was just really hard to like fill it, because like it needed to be that big, but at the same time it was almost like too big. It was really, really hard. And I really kind of struggled a little bit with the closet situation, just because like you don't really have like proper closets in The Sims. It's easier now with like obviously the home makeover, the home decorator, whatever that pack is called. It's easier now to make closets, but it's still not, you know, like how some houses are. And then I kind of just did whatever when it came to the bathrooms. I put 2 bathrooms in the house. I don't think there's ever any scenes in the bathrooms or anything, so I just went with it with what I thought of myself. So I made that bathroom really pink, and then I just keep on going back and forth from upstairs to downstairs, and then just adding in more decorations and like more details to all of the rooms, and changing the wallpapers and adding wallpaper and all of that stuff and everything. So that's what I'm doing here, just going back down. And I think I add in like some more lighting and stuff and change the lighting a little bit. And then I finally go back upstairs and start to finish out the rest of the bedrooms and whatnot. This is supposed to be Zelda's room, Aunt Zelda's room. She is supposed to be the more serious, you know, aunt. And, you know, she eventually becomes a professor and everything. You know, she's very studious, very, very serious, very on top of her stuff. So that's kind of the vibes that I try to go with her room, and I made it a little darker. Both of the aunts' rooms, I'm pretty sure they don't like it, they show them very, very rarely. I think there was only like 1 episode each where they actually show their rooms, and I think the scene that they show of Zelda's room, it only shows her like in her bed. So I kind of just went with what I felt like. And I did put her bed to the side because I just felt like doing something a little different for that one. Obviously, I went back downstairs for some reason to add more decor, but you know, that's fine. And this little room over here next to Zelda's room, I kind of made into the attic instead of making a proper attic. I just did that because in the house they have a second set of stairs, and it makes no sense because I don't think they ever show like them going up the different stairs or like show a second stairwell upstairs. I think it's like always just that main stairwell that's right next to the closet, and I never recalled any other stairs, so I kind of just went with that one going in the attic. That's what we're doing. And then for the bathroom, And then for the bathroom, I kind of, again, just went with whatever I felt like. Again, probably not completely functional because I really couldn't figure out where to put the toilet. So I ended up putting the toilet there, but then I felt like it was awkward if you had the toilet right across the shower. I don't know. To me, that was just awkward. So I put it in a little room. Honestly, if you just deleted the walls and deleted that little room that the toilet's in, it probably would be fine and functional. It just, to me, looked off. And then the last room that I do is Hilda's room, and Aunt Hilda's room. Her room gets described a lot. I think at one point it got described as a country western Chinese influenced room, and then I think at one time like they talked about like clowns being associated with her room and stuff. And then I think in the episode that she gets married is the only episode that they ever show her room, and it is very childlike. It's like blue and pink, and then it has like a bubblegum machine, and it just has a lot of like very kid-like things in there. And so that's what I kind of went with for that room. I put a whole arcade machine in there just because, you know, like it fills up the space a little bit, and it's like a cool kid kind of thing. So that's what I went with. And then I also changed her room to carpet because I'm pretty sure from what I saw, it looked like her room actually had carpet in it. So that's what I went with. And I just made sure to make her room bright and fun and everything. Again, I'm just changing the lights and stuff so I don't have the little overhead lights that I use, just so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going around and like changing little bits here and there, readjusting, making sure it looks decent to me, and then just adding some stuff to fill in some of the more empty spaces and like empty walls. I think honestly putting stuff on the walls so the walls don't look bare and empty is like the hardest thing for me. It's just really hard. And then also I was started to try and add in a few more windows because I didn't really put that many windows before I started building on the inside. So I'm adding in some windows here, struggling obviously to find some because I couldn't find any whites that really matched the door. And then I started this little patio porch thing because on the show, at least in the first season, I don't remember if they I don't ever remember this from the show from when I was watching it, but when I watched back like the first episode honestly, Sabrina goes out through this little door here, and it's actually like a little closed off patio kind of thing going on. So that's what I went with here. So it's like all glass windows and whatnot, and I just created that. We're getting towards the end here. I will say too, another thing that I didn't do, if you wanted to use this house and make it make the Spellman family for it to, and you're probably gonna need to add in some cat stuff because I wasn't not thinking about Salem needing food or a litter box. So that's not in here, but you can add that if you need to. But we're getting towards the end of the speed build, and then I'm going to go into the tour of the speed build, so I will catch you guys later. It's the start of our little tour of the lovely Spellman house. As we can see right here already, I can see a little mistake. I forgot to paint that lovely little wall right there. But we're just going to ignore that, and we're going to go ahead and head on in. Okay, and as we enter the house, we're in this little foyer area situation here. And I think this is probably the most well-known room in the show. This little room, they have lots of chats and sit-downs over here. And through this room, we can head into the little dining area. Nice, lovely. This is where Sabrina finds out that she is actually a witch. And then we go in through here, through this door, and here is our kitchen and dining area. And we'll just go back through this little door here, ignoring the stairwell there. And we'll actually check out this side of the house. This is I kind of just made this into kind of like a little study area here. There we go. And then here is our little laundry room situation. Lovely. And before we go upstairs, we will go and see our little bathroom. Very pink. Very, very, very pink. But nice and simple, perfect. And then we will go ahead and head on up the stairs. As we are upstairs, we can see the little hallway area. Go through, and that can make us go to some wonderful, amazing places. And then we are in Sabrina's room. Don't mind the roofing that is inside, we just ignore that as well. Little spin around to her room, and then we enter into Aunt Zelda's room. Here we also have a little bit of roofing in there, but again we just ignore that. But just do a little quick turnaround, spin around in her room. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then we go in, and this is the little attic area that I kind of made. There should be stairs there. Not sure why there's no stairs there, but we just move right along. Not sure where those stairs went. And then we have our bathroom here. Lovely, lovely. Separate toilet situation. And then last but not least, we have Aunt Hilda's room. Very fun, just like Aunt Hilda. Very, very lovely. And last but not least, before we completely end this tour, we will actually go and have a nice little peek-see out to our little porch patio. We can have a little sit down right there, and we can just head on out the back door. And that end of our lovely little tour of the Spellman household. That is the end of this little speed build of the Spellman house. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did like this video, you guys can go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. You can also do a little comment down below. And if you want to see more videos just like this, you can go and hit the subscribe button in the corner. Thanks again so much for watching, but guys, bye.